Hiya crafters, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to share with you the new mid-month release stencil. Now this is called Essential Heart. You can see this comes in its own package because it's two different pieces with that little masking heart. Have some ink pads here, a card base, and some blingage. There are 12 new colors in the shop this month, so I'll be sure to tell you more about that. Here's a photo of the finished card to show you the direction that we're headed, but really very simple in design. You'll see I do make some mistakes. I'm going to show you how I work through them, so stick around and you'll see the finished card and how I got there. So for this portion, I'm just going to be using the outside. I'm not actually going to use that little masking heart, but I love that Mary Kay at the shop includes those little masking pieces because it really does add to the versatility of your stencil, because you can mask off certain areas. You could, use some mint tape or pixie spray and do the heart portion down and then ink blend around it, or cover up and do a different color on the inside. So lots of options, lots of versatility when you have that additional masking piece. Now I decided I wanted to go with kind of typical heart colors, so I have pinks and purples here, and I have my little blending brushes from Altenew, and I find that these are a little bit different than my other blending brushes. I use them both. I still love my rabbit hole design ones. I just find that they have different ways of laying down the ink. Like I find these little Altenew ones lay down more saturated color and they don't really hang on to residual ink. Whereas my rabbit hole ones are a little bit more subtle in color, and they're really good at hanging on to residual ink, so I can kind of come back later and use that extra ink in there. So benefits to both. I still use them both regularly and love them. So these, I just really wanted that really saturated rich color, and as you saw, got a little crazy and shifted my stencil and got up underneath it and made a mistake. So to start, I'm going to see if I can come at it with my sand eraser and see if I can fix my mistake, but I don't have a lot of hopes because it was kind of a big oopsie. So I'm going at it, and I could probably maybe come at it with a white gel pen, but I thought, I'm just going to work around it. I'm going to fix it another way. So unfortunately, it was working directly on a card base, so I'm going to kind of lose the back of that card. I'll just kind of put it in my scrap drawer and use it for something else. So I have this rectangle die. This is from Craft Stash. I believe it's the Torn Edge. I'll link it below with all the other products, but basically I'm just going to kind of work around and cut out a panel and avoid my mistake. So that's my first fix here, and then like I said, I'll set that other piece in my scrap box and I'll use it for something else. Now here I have another new stencil. This is also part of the April release. It's called Rocks, I believe. Yes, rock stencil. And I decided to use that because I wanted to not have so much white space. I wanted to apply the color, and I could have just swiped it directly onto the card base, or I could have just ink blended, but I wanted to add a little bit more visual interest. So I decided to use another one of the new stencils. Now you'll see I do ink blend over it to make it even more subtle so the lines aren't so stark, but it is a fun way to kind of use your stencils in different ways. So feel free to mix and match your stencils and see what different looks that you can create. That's one of the awesome things about stencils, is you can just use them in so many different ways, maybe not even as they're intended. So I'm coming in with the same colors, just working around the edge. I'm going to come in with a little bit of the purple just to kind of tie that in as well. And then, like I said, I will kind of ink blend over it just to kind of tone it down a little bit. But this is a fun way to add color to the edge if you don't want a white border. Now I am cleaning up my work surface so that I don't get it on the back of the card base. I could have left it like that. That looks kind of cool too, but I decided I wanted to tone it down. So the cool thing about this release, this month in April, this is the mid-month release. So this is a special one that is not part of the bundle. This is a separate kind of release on its own. But what's cool about it is for the first week, it's on sale. So if you like this, I would plan on getting it within the next week, and then you can get it at a discount. And you can use my coupon AmyFan10 on top of it. So this month's release is chock full of really cool geometric stencils, which are great for masculine cards and any cards really. And then there's also a whole collection of snarky sentiment stencils as well. Super fun. So be sure to check that out. I'll link everything below. And then in addition to all that stencil goodness, there are 12 new colors of card bling, and they are gorgeous colors. I'm so in love with them. This might be my favorite collection so far. Here I'm going to shop my sentiment book and figure out how I want to finish the card. These are baseball card pocket protector sheets. These hold a lot of my components, so I have them ready to go and I can batch and mass produce cards quickly. So I'm kind of flipping through, seeing what my options are, figuring out how I want to finish the card. Because I don't know if you're like me, but usually the sentiment is an afterthought. I'm just excited to create the background and play with my goodies, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put a sentiment on it, unless I decide not to do a sentiment. But in this case I did. I ended up finding one that worked, as you saw in the photo. But back to the bling. So there's 12 new colors, and those you can also use my coupon Amy Fan 10. So I am going to use, I believe, one of the April new colors on this card, but I'm excited to show you my bling setup because that has been really fun, organizing that and kind of compiling that and reorganizing it as my collection grows. So there's more and more colors in the shop, of these gorgeous card bling. You can see all these gorgeous little packages. I have these containers that hold them perfectly, and then I can kind of just hold up the container and figure out which one kind of works with my design. So this one I struggled a little bit because there were some of these pink ones that looked gorgeous, but then there was also the gold, which matched the embossing on my sentiment. So as you'll see, I do end up going with two different options here, but there's multiple gold ones that worked, and there's multiple pink ones that worked. So there's so many gorgeous colors to choose from in the shop. I had too many to choose from, if that's such a thing. I don't think so. But anyway, I picked a couple that worked really well. I think, oh, this one, gorgeous. This was a perfect match. And this is one of the new colors. I will link it below. Metallic Regal Rose, I think is what it's called. It is stunning, and it was a perfect match. So I was very excited to use that with one of the golds. So I'll link the colors that I used below. Like I said, you can use my coupon Amy Fan 10 if you want to get a bigger discount. These are very reasonably priced, and they're awesome. They're these little confetti sort of sequins. They don't have a hole in them. They're flat back, and there's multiple sizes, which is a must for me. Because if I'm doing embellishment, I want the blingage to be different sizes. It's just my preference, and that's how these are configured. So you get multiple sizes in these little generous packs of blingage. So I'm just going to put these down all over on the front of the card with some liquid glue and my jewel picker tool, and that's going to finish the card. So be sure to check out this new mid-month release. If you want it, get it in the first week to get it cheaper. Otherwise, it'll just be regular price in the shop beyond that. And then this gorgeous new rocks stencil as well. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I will catch you next time. Bye.